Yes, hello. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for making the time. So, guys, today we are joined by Francis Brown. He's the founder of Animax FYB Studios. He's one of the top animators in the country, and he has worked on a lot of projects, a lot of international projects. And you have a content on Amazon Prime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So today he's going to share his insights on voiceover in animation and the opportunities that creatives have in Ghana. Francis, welcome again.
Thank you, Prince. Thanks for having me here.
Okay, okay. So please tell us a bit about your journey. Tell us how you started in animation and how you built Animax FYB Studios.
Okay, so it's a very long story, so I'll just summarize it so that we can utilize time well.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to my journey through animation, I was naturally born an artist. So, growing up, it was quite easy for me to know the path that I want to choose, which is art, creative art. But then when it comes to animation, it was my grandmother who harnessed that whole thing for me. She saw the talent, she saw the interest, and she helped me develop it and made sure that she planted it in my mind that one day I can be the animator that I want to be because I was watching a lot of cartoons. I was sketching them off head and also sometimes even also tracing them in storybooks and all that. So she kept on pushing me. But fast forward, when I completed secondary school, I did a bit of work. I didn't go straight to school from there. I worked as a graphic design apprentice, and with this, I was able to learn some of the softwares that is being used for animation. I didn't know that Ghana had a school that trained in animation as at the time. So I was trying to gather some coins and just leave the country to go learn. And I
Wow.
was told that um, NAFTI was training in animation. So there and there, I applied and I was lucky to be selected. And during my school days, I was very interested in telling our stories, right? So my final year production got a lot of awards and also nominations. It took me around the world, which the title was Agokoli.
Agokoli. Yeah.
So, yes, Agokoli. As a student film, it won Best Animation in Africa. It was and it is still the only West African student production to be shortlisted in student Oscars. And
Wow.
yeah, it went to some of the top animation festivals worldwide. So I came to
Wow.
a crossroad
Congratulations on that.
where,
Congratulations. Wow.
thank
That's
you.
amazing. Yeah.
So I came to a crossroad where whether to leave the country to go pursue my education or go work in a bigger studio because I got those two opportunities to go to school, go back to school, or to work in a big studio. But one thing I also realized was I was a very strong Pan Africanist. I love Ghana, I love Africa. And growing up, my grandmother really told me a lot of African stories or Ghanaian stories, which I realized that they're all going extinct. And all the stories that I heard growing up, I'm not seeing it on screen. When we get the opportunity, we want to do suit and tie type of stories. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there was no animation studio too in Ghana to really employ my service full time.
Yeah.
Only agencies that were doing just 30 seconds animation for commercials here and there, which wasn't what I want to do. What I wanted to do is to tell stories, narrative.
Yeah.
So I decided to boycott the opportunity to leave the country to go school or work in a studio and rather to start my own studio, to start the studio that will create that space or will bridge the gap for people like myself who are coming after me will have a space to really express their creativity through animation. That's how come Animas came into existence. And it's been 11 years now
Wow,
running the studio. And yes, a lot has happened in the 11 years. Yeah.
11 years. Wow, wow, man. That's an amazing story. Very inspiring, right there. And
Yeah.
I know you touched on that, but what inspired you to focus on African stories, the folklore, and and history in your work?
Just as I said, growing up, so my grandmother, I'll call her a griot. A griot because she was more or less like a custodian of many stories, and she she helped me a lot by telling me a lot of bedtime stories. And even when we are sitting and she's cooking, she'll be telling me different stories. She'll be telling me migration stories. So I got very interested in those type of stories, stories that has to do with our mythologies, stories that has to do with history. So I got really, really stuck with it. And when I got the opportunity to now master the tools of storytelling, I decided to rather use these type of stories that I had as my subjects.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into voiceovers. How important is
Right.
voiceover in animation, and what role does it play in storytelling?
Um, voiceovers is as important as is just as important as the visuals. Because if you look at any animation or most animations, if we are talking about feature length films and all that, you realize that the visuals are being driven by the voices that we hear. So you sometimes watch the action. Of course, sometimes the action is very funny or it's very serious, but the voice is what helps you to really connect with the characters.
Hmm.
It's just like I can I'll connect animation to stage acting basically. When it comes to stage acting, you see that the actors project their voices and also exaggerate their performance for you to see them. It's not like film where camera is being shot, so you can always have different takes. Yes, of course. Animation too is like you are rolling camera, but you don't have the luxury to record again. If you record again, it's costing you money. So it's like theater, it's like stage acting. You have only one shot and you need to make it count. So you make sure that your performance is really good as much as the voices. And sometimes it is even the voice that makes people love the animation work. For
Yeah,
example, if you want to look at a character like Scar from Lion King,
Lion King. Yeah,
yes, it is the voice of Scar that makes Scar like that character, you know. It's not even
yeah.
so much of his looks. It makes even his looks even look more enhanced by the
Not the
voice.
voice. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So no, let me chip in this one. What's so special about Lion King? When I talk to voiceover artists, they tell me that Lion King inspired them to enter voiceovers. I'm talking to an animator right now. You're picking something from Lion King. What's so special about that?
So Lion King in many ways it brought a lot of awareness to audiovisual, especially the not the conventional type, which is the normal live action film. When Lion King was made, it showed the whole world that there can be another form of audiovisual medium that can also attract audience as much. When it comes to the visuals, when it comes to the visual in terms of composition, in terms of appeal, when it comes to character development. when it comes to voiceovers and all the other elements that came together to make the film shows that. And also, it went to box office and it became the highest grossing film as at the time. It hit 2
Yeah.
billion in the box office. So
Yeah.
it shows that the interest was really, really high. This is 1990. So
Yeah.
if you compare 2 billion from 1990 to today, that is almost like um, quadruple or more the rate.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lion King also really inspired me a lot in different ways, and voice is one of them for sure.
Okay. So when you are looking for voices for your projects, what are the qualities you look out for?
So I look out for a couple of things. So I look out for people who are able to immerse themselves into a character, the character that has been given to them to perhaps audition for or play, and how best they're able to extend themselves beyond what has been given to them. That's the first one. Secondly, I listen to the tone, the pitch of the voice. Does it really match the characteristics of the character that we've given? If you have the character description or the character design against your voice, is it matching or is it contrasting? If it is contrasting, is it an intentional thing that you're doing so that it brings different dynamic to the story or the character itself? So, for example, if I give you a character which is a midget, right? And you, Prince, you have a very thick voice. So if you're using your voice, ordinarily everyone would expect that the character would be having a very thin, smallish voice, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
type of
Yeah.
voice. But the moment I start hearing bass, it makes me look at the character twice, like, why? How? How is it possible? You know?
Yeah.
Then it brings a unique turn to the character. And also the delivery in the sense that if I give you a character, I'm not expecting raw lines, like you just read the lines out for me. No. How are you performing the voice? Are
Yeah.
you are you exaggerating your voice from the normal to something that is quite unique to the character? Because one thing is for sure, originality. We need something that in animation we don't want normal voices. If I say normal voices, unless you have one tone in your voice where no matter how you do it, whether you're laughing, you're crying, you're however you stretch your voice is the same tone. Then it's a very, very unique voice, which I've met someone or some people like that before. But if you have this normal voice like you and I, how are you going to make it sound so unique that the moment anyone hears it, I'm sure when you hear Bugs Bunny talk and you've not seen the screen, you know that, this is Looney Tunes,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Or even a character like Scooby Doo,
Yeah.
Shaggy. When you hear
Yeah.
the voice of Shaggy, wherever you are, you would just connect it to Scooby Doo. So this is some of the things or most of the things that I pay attention to when I'm selecting a voice for animation.
Okay. Okay. So can you share with us examples where the voices you use really meet these requirements?
So to be honest with you, only a few times that I've been able to get some of these voices to meet the requirement in Accra, Ghana. Unless I'm
Wow.
working on an international project, which I'm able to get the voices. But the ones that we've worked on using local voices, it's like they come in and give us what they think is it works, right? And we take it, anyway. And what we try doing with it is we try to use tech to push it a bit further to get what we want, but it doesn't quite come out as much as we wanted it to be. So, yeah, to answer your question, it's 50-50. Sometimes it's a hit or miss.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going wrong? Why is this happening? Why don't we have these voices in Ghana?
So we don't have these voices in Ghana because, first of all, I think the awareness of the animation industry is not too broad in the country. To even some of the ecosystem players. If I say ecosystem players, you yourself as a voice actor, you're an ecosystem player, but then you might not necessarily know that you have a market in animation.
Mhm.
So, or you might not know that there's even an animation community in Accra or Ghana. So you have to connect with them and see how best you can plug. So that in itself doesn't allow people to invest into themselves to meet that particular industry. Also, our institutions they failed us so much. Um, they don't have classes or subjects that tackle some of these things. So if you have that raw talent and you want to come out, you might just be raw. You wouldn't know how to really go about it uh, to meet industry standards. So we don't have the technical know-how for people to truly study and also practice with their voices here. Sometimes when you talk about voiceovers, filmmakers, film actors think, oh, because they are on screens, they can do voice acting. It's two different things. It's not the same. Especially in Ghana, where filmmaking is normally bent on how you look than how you perform and sound, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you realize that they think it is their beauty that they are coming to put in the voiceover. Meanwhile, no one is going to see your
You see
face
your
when you
face
deliver.
exactly. Yeah,
Yes. So, so that these are some of the things that the dynamics that we need to look at. We need to also build communities like what you guys have and be very intentional about it. Perhaps you find, you say, okay, we are training ourselves in different forms. Today is for animation. Let's
yeah,
watch once again Lion King, maybe a scene, and
yeah,
let's reenact it. If we are reenacting it, how are we going to bring it into our own forms? So there's also that thing that really disturbs how we deliver in voices over here. That is the lafa. So the locally acquired
yeah,
foreign
yeah,
accent. You see,
yeah,
we are not original. We are not. We don't keep it straight. We don't keep it 100. We need to learn how to just be. And if I say to just be, literally just flow as you are, but then, of course, you need to be audible, you need to be clear, you need to be grammatically correct, but
yeah,
just be yourself 100%. This is the only way where we can also break into the international market because everyone is original, authentic. So
yeah,
if you're going into the market, what makes you fresh? What makes you different from everyone? How you sound. So if you're able to use how you sound and also work it out through the technical know-how that fits for the medium, I believe we can go very far.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Before I get to my juicy question, I want to know the stories you use, are they Ghanaian stories or African stories? Do you focus just on Ghanaian stories or African stories?
Okay, so I'll say that I started off very much with Ghanaian stories, but now it's not just Ghanaian stories. I've expanded it into Africa because I believe that Africa is my playground.
Yeah.
I see it as, yes, it's a continent, but I see it as also one country. So I should be able to step into any territory or zone to tell their story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how can aspiring Ghanaian voice actors position themselves to work with you?
So that's a good question. There's one guy, for example, yourself, and there's another guy, Osei Kwame, that I've worked with, or he's somewhat like Osei Kwame and Andrew Tando. These guys
Yeah, yeah,
are
yeah,
some of my go-to guys when I need voiceover for animation for men, male voices.
yeah,
It's because these people have deliberately put themselves out there so many times by demonstrating what they can do. It
yeah,
is not just about gigs, gigs, gigs. When there is no gig, you see them go into the booth, pick something and work on, produce, try to match their voices to certain voices. They are very also intentional about how they do things because they know the strength of their voices, and they pick projects that match their voice and try to replicate them. So with this, when I'm looking around and perhaps I need a voice that sounds like Batman or Bane,
yeah,
quickly Andrew will come into my mind because Andrew has done something with that before. Like he compared his voice to that type of voice, and
yeah.
okay, he will give me some result like that. So we need to do a lot in terms of putting our works out there for people to see. Um, People like us, our animation studio is always open for receiving new demo reels in terms of voice reels. So you can record yourself several times and share with us so that we work on stuff if the opportunity avails itself.
Okay. So are there a lot of jobs available for us?
Okay, so to be honest with you, it's not a lot. There are voiceover gigs for a lot of commercials that we know, like
Yeah,
all these radio plays and all that. They're all voiceover gigs, and sometimes when I listen to some of it, I know that it is not the appropriate one. It doesn't fit so much, right? But for when it comes to animation, because it's also animation has been around for a very long time, but it is now really taking off. So we shouldn't wait for jobs to avail itself before we show up, but we should rather grow with it. So we should now also really invest into creating voice over rooms where you have about 10 to 20, 30, 50 people who have come together to make sure that they are constantly practicing and learning and studying, preparing themselves for the right time. And as you're even preparing, different opportunities might come your way. In Africa right now, I would say that we shouldn't even, the Ghanaian voiceover actors shouldn't pay attention to just Ghana because
mm,
the industry is wide and Africa is really growing fast in animation. So if you are able to distinguish yourself in Ghana, very well, you will be able to export that to different parts of the continent because when Disney or Marvel or any of these studios, when they are looking for voices from Africa, they don't care if it's coming from Kenya or South Africa. They need African voice,
yeah, yeah,
and you can be that African voice.
yeah, yeah.
So we need to really quickly put ourselves into positions that we can leverage on to get some of these gigs. So the opportunities are meant to be created by us. That's the first thing I'll say. We don't have to wait for someone to create it for us. We create it ourselves.
Amazing one.
Yeah.
Is there any project you are working on now that we should be expecting?
Yes, we have a project, an upcoming project which I can't disclose yet. but then it's going to be huge. It's going to be really big. And yeah, I encourage anyone listening to this to send in their demo reel if they believe that they have the strong voice to match certain
Mhm.
characters. Yeah, so you can play the character of a warrior, the character of a tech genius. You can play the character of a shaman, a wizard. You know, these are characters that might come up or will come up from the project. So please, if you're listening to this and you think you have the voice, if the voice of an oracle, let me know. Send us your demo reel, and our email address is hello@animaxfybstudios.com.
Okay. Do you think voices in local languages, Chi, Ga, and also?
Yeah, of course. So when we do commercial gigs for some of the multinationals and some agencies, normally they want to also dub it into different local languages. And these are the five main local languages that we normally work in. That's Hausa, Dagbani, Ewe, Ga, Chi, and yeah, Hausa, Dagbani, Ga, Ewe, and Chi. Yes, these five, and sometimes Fanti. They're voices that or languages that really, really, really calls for attention in dubbing.
Oh, nice, nice. So,
Yeah.
so guys, it's time for questions. If you have any questions for Francis, please unmute and ask. So, Francis, where can we see your projects, the projects you've worked on?
Yeah. So we do have some of our free gigs on YouTube. You can find some of our works there. And
Okay.
we
Is
have some of our works on.
Madam Datsun is on? Madam Datsun, please, you have the floor. Please ask your question.
Is this Madam Datsun from Ako Books?
Yes, yes, yeah. Hello, Madam. Please, are you there? Okay, okay. So please, Francis, you were talking about where we can see your projects.
So the email address is hello@animaxfybstudios.com. Hello@animaxfybstudios.com. So and also the lengthy one that we worked on, which is about 70 minutes, is on Amazon Prime, but unfortunately, it's not open to African territory. So it's open to Asia, Europe, and America. But when you go to YouTube, when you go on our channel on YouTube, you can find some of our works, which is at Animax FYB Studios.
Hello, Madam Dodson. Please, we can't hear you. Guys, if you have any question, please, you can ask them now.
Oh, hello. Hi. I don't know. Earlier I had problems yeah, getting my mic to sound so nobody could hear me. I'm so sorry about that.
Mm.
Hi Francis. Hello Prince.
Hi,
I
man.
I have a question about animation because it's always intrigued me. Do you record the voices before doing the animation first, or you do the animation and then the actors have to sync their voices to the animation? How does it work? I'm always curious about that.
So both ways can work actually. Sometimes we prefer to record the voices before we animate, and it's because once we are recording the voices, the voice is acting. So
Mm-hmm.
you're acting with your voice. So once you're acting with your voice, it motivates the animators to also know the direction of how to animate it, how to make them perform. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes too, the animators might be, so it all depends. If the animator is a strong performer than the voice actor, then after animating with a dummy voice, we allow the voice actor to get inspired by how the animation is moving to record their voices. So it's two-way out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I'm in the audiobook business, and I've always, it's been helpful to hear what the kind of characteristics you need for animation, because it's a bit different from audiobook narration. But
Right.
I exactly the same things you're saying about getting into the character of the story to be able to deliver a good narration. I think it's similar. And for audiobooks, I always think someone who loves to read and is an avid reader helps with the delivery. I'm wondering if it's the same for animations and comics. Do you have to be kind of watching them? Like for the audiobooks narrators, I always tell them that listen to a lot of audiobooks and then sort of try and find your style, the style that fits in with your personality and your voice and tone and everything. And, maybe learn from people, one or two people who are experts in that field. Is it the same with animation also, where
It's the same.
watching a lot of,
Yeah.
animations yourself, getting used to listening to different animations, how animations are voiced would help. Mm.
Yeah, basically, it's the
Mm.
same. Just as I
Mm-hmm.
said, you just
Mm.
need to know the strength of your voice.
Yes.
And sometimes too, you might also surprise yourself by actually picking something which is directly opposite your voice to try it out. And then you realize that you'll be unlocking different talents. There
Yeah.
are a couple of people
Uh-huh.
who can sit here and deliver about just 10 different sounds, and you won't even believe it. So
Wow.
because yeah, they've mastered their voice, and they keep practicing it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Guys, any more questions? Bring in your questions. Oh. Hello, Francis. So, do you have any advice for the aspiring voiceover artists and then the professional?
So I mean, for the aspiring guys, man, whenever it comes to advice, it's very difficult for me because advising people, man. Um, yeah, I'm not done advising myself. So,
Uh,
um, I would say that they should really pay attention to details. Paying attention to details actually makes the difference because you realize that you'll be picking on a lot of things, a whole lot of different things that normally, if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't know or find around you. So curiosity is the main tool for you to really master the craft. Because some people talk with different mannerisms, and if you've been given that particular character to play, you can't play it flat. You need to be able to embellish it with all the necessary ad libs and add-ons and mannerisms that makes up the character. You know, for example, if you have been given a character like a monkey to play, you're
mhm.
playing the role of a monkey. You can't just be talking like that. You can when you're scared, um, and before you deliver your lines, you can literally start with. a monkey instinct type of sound,
Yeah.
then you start
Yes.
talking,
Yes.
you know. Aha. So it makes you really embody the character. Uh,
Yeah.
so all of these things are things that we need to pay attention to. These are the things that really makes you a master of your craft.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
ask a question?
Please
Yes,
do.
please.
Please do. Yeah.
Hello, good evening. First of all, I think I would like to thank whoever set up this group, and also I want to thank Amma. Amma, this is Ikua here. Amma was the one who got me into audiobooks. I've been doing a lot of audiobooks with Amma Dadson, and thank you to hear from you, Mr. Animax. I didn't know that this world existed in Ghana, so it's wonderful, and thank you that this group has been started. So I think it's just part of something going on in Ghana in terms of uh, culture. I think part
Is it
Uh,
my
I,
the light is breaking,
I
right?
wanted to ask too.
Yeah.
is it my background? Can you still hear me?
Yes, but you were breaking. Please, can you ask your question again?
Okay. I was giving a comment,
Okay.
but my question was you mentioned something about there should be studios where people can come and um, be recording or testing or training. Um, I just wanted you to talk a bit more about that. Do you have a studio already where you test out voices and then develop animation around it? The animation is very new to me. I enjoyed reading comics when I was little, like Tintin and
Yeah.
Asterix,
Yeah.
Obelix, those kinds of things. I don't know what the young people are reading now. I'm sure you can tell my but I'm very much interested in doing much more with my voice. So I just wanted to compliment both of you for this platform, first of all, and then inviting Animax, and wanted to know a bit more about the studio that you mentioned earlier. If you could talk a bit more about what you envisage and whether you have something like that in place that can possibly be built on. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. So Prince, you know how our space, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have this is a sort of an association or a movement, the voice actors thing. But then for Animax, what we are doing now is we're looking forward to work with groups to create voiceover groups that will come around. We have a sound studio called Maximum Records, and that is one of the main things we want to be doing by harnessing the voice talent in the country. So we're very much open to welcoming people who are really, really interested in the voiceover business to come around for us to learn together. Animax also has a very wide network in the industry. So, what we want to do is not just come around and test out your voice, but we'll sometimes have real industry voice coaches, voice acting coaches to uh, train our members, our people, right?
Yeah.
To be able to understand full time what is required of them. And once we are also getting better at this, what we can do is we can also export some of these talent to different set of projects around. So you quickly come to understand that voice acting, as much as sometimes it can be cultural context, for animation, voice acting transcends culture. You don't necessarily, sometimes you might even listen to or watch some animation and you wouldn't even know that this character is black or this character is white. If you're able to play the role very well, you can fit into any global production. So this is one of the intentions for our sound studio to be able to nurture the talent in Ghana and produce with them and also export some.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Francis. So at the end of this meeting, we have to collaborate. Ghana Voice Actors Community and Animax FYB. Definitely, that's good news for us. Yeah. Please, any more questions for Francis?
Oh, Francis.
Hello, friend.
Okay, madam, please. The floor is yours.
Okay, madam, please. The floor is yours.
Please, we can't hear you.
Hello, Prince.
Hi, can you hear me
Hi,
now?
can you hear me now? Yes,
Yes, we
yes,
can.
Hello?
yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna bring that dreaded question, that dreaded word that everybody hates. AI. I'm just
Ah,
wondering if you're having a little bit of that encroaching into the animation voice space already. We've already started hearing about it in the audiobook world. How much of that is that do you see as a threat to this sort of not a threat? Maybe I'm more optimistic. I don't like the threat aspects of things, but is there a way it can be harnessed and used by voice actors who want to get into voice animation? Do you see?
Yes. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so to everything, I believe for AI, when it comes to voice side of things, the only thing that quickly comes to mind is aside from the negative aspect, which will be there. Um, if you're really serious about it, you should be able to create different characters or different tones of voices that is only unique to you and copyright it. Once you're able to copyright
Mm,
that particular tones or that type of voice, you'll be able to also double yourself in so many ways. Uh, Different people in different productions in different countries can use your voice through AI without you recording a thing but getting royalties because you've already copyrighted your voice because your voice is unique to you unless someone also sounds the same as you and it's going to be a conflict. But if you know that you've created this unique thing that is tailored to you and you only, you have a great shot at it. Yeah, so this is the main thing that comes to mind. Making sure that you trademark and copyright your voice.
mm, amazing. So Joe, the floor is yours.
Floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I would want to find out from Francis, whoever's in Kumasi, who are also interested in this. What help can you offer us? Then again, are there resources to help us work on our voices?
Yes, those in Kumasi, definitely when I think about it, I think it will be online for when we want to have these training sessions because some of the people who will be training us will not be coming from the country in itself. So if we have a voice coach from America, it will be online, so you can always be in the house and do it. But the added advantage will be if you are in the space, then whilst we are learning on site. So we are practicing and also taking coaching at the same time. So sometimes it would be great if you find yourself in Accra, you come around and just come and demonstrate some of the things that you've trained yourself with. And also, once you're at home, everyone's phone has a recorder. So you can always use your phone's recorder to really practice hard. There are a lot of also training resource materials online, especially YouTube. When you go there, you can find a whole course on voice acting for animation. Once you're practicing, you can send us some of the voice demos that you come up with.
Thank you. Mel Grant, please, the floor is
Hello,
yours. Yeah. Yeah.
thank you very much. I would like to also commend you very much for having this meeting. It's very important that we have a community, and I'm very grateful. I got into voice acting not long ago, and one of the things I realized is most of the time I'm either like voicing for people that I know, like most of the time. And I really want to know how or what are the best ways to break into the industry beyond people you know. How do you get to people that are out there? Yes, you have your demo reel, yes, you're on the internet, but how do you really, really reach people that are willing to, I mean, not to focus on the money, but that are willing to pay for your craft? Yes, and I think my second question would also be that, I mean, this is my first introduction to any community with voice acting, right? I want to know with what criterion do you price your work fairly as a new voice actor or somebody that has been in the business for a while? Thank you.
All right. So the first question will be based on I will ask you these two questions. Do you watch animations, both locally and international animations?
I would say I do. Not as often.
Okay.
Maybe I should do more.
Right. And also, do you have any social media platform?
Yes, I do.
All right, great. So you see, with your social media platform, what you can be doing is you can be recording monologues or even dialogues of already existing projects. You can target particular studios that have produced some work, and if you are very, very sure of what you've produced in that sense that they've already done, you can send it into their inbox that hey, I tried my hands on say one of these your characters, but then I can play so and so and so and so character. This is my demo reel. Then you share with them. You can also put it on your own platform. The more you do that, the more you actually own that space. People will know you as that voice over or voice actress that can play different roles or this particular role. And to answer your second question is it's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky in the sense that every project and its own budget. So sometimes it's not based on over here in Ghana now. It is really about the budget than your value. That's one thing I've come to realize. Because if we are going by value, a lot of productions are underpaying voiceover actors and actresses.
Yeah.
So we would have to analyze, reassess what is the value of an independent production in Ghana. Say if you're delivering just about two, three lines, how much are you getting paid? As against if you're delivering a whole book or maybe half a page and all that. So we need standardization, and that is why this community is very important. It is only this community that can come up with that price list. Trust me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that when you go out there, you are one voice. And if anyone is being underpaid, there's a whole body that is backing that person up to get the right payment. And no one is also going to go under the person to go take that short-handed price because they won't work. So we need unified bodies to push that agenda.
Thank you very much. I
Thank you
like that.
very much.
Mm,
You're welcome.
yeah. Madam Dodson, please, your hand is up. If you have any question, the floor is yours.
Hi. It wasn't a question. It was just a sort of add-on comment to what you'd said about rates and standardization. And I think, I'm really looking forward to that. Ikua would attest that at Aqua Books, we have somewhat tried to standardize rates so that at least the narrators who come and come for our projects would have a sense, a little bit of what what they're going to earn. I can imagine it's very difficult when it keeps changing. One of the things we had to educate some of the narrators who came to us was that voice voiceovers, ads, and them is a completely different pricing, because with audiobooks you're in the studio for much longer. You know, anything from 30 minutes to hours. But we try to have a scale for junior voices who haven't done any audiobook before, spend a lot more time in the studio than more experienced narrators who can just get into the story and the character. So we have a scale, and we try to be transparent about that so that people know. And as you said, there's no going behind your back. Oh, I paid this person this, I paid this
Yeah,
person that. We try. And I don't know who in the industry would be monitoring and helping to keep that standard. Would it be for voice actors? Would it be NAFTY, or which organization would be the one
It will be the
helping
guild.
to?
It will be
The
the
guild.
communities that we set.
Okay.
It will
Right.
be the
Right.
associations. So
I think that
this
would be
aspect,
very helpful. When we
right?
work with talent in the US, they have their unions actually,
Yes.
doing the contract on their behalf and all that.
Yes.
So yeah,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I did like the voice of that lady, whoever she is, Mel Gran, on the
no
thing.
grants.
So I'd love
Ah,
to have her social media handle and have a chat with her
Yeah.
about,
Yes, please.
you know. So if you could drop that in the chat, then I can copy it and talk afterwards.
I sure will.
Thank you. Mm.
okay, okay. Guys, any more questions? Okay, so I think it's time to wrap up. Francis, thank you so much for making the time to be with us today. We've learned a lot. You've opened our eyes and to the opportunities that are available to us here. And we have to collaborate and come up with the pricing and the price structure and all that. We have to put something together and make it work. Definitely.
Thank you. I mean, you're all welcome. And as I said, let's create a very strong community, and let's build ourselves for the wave that's to come, because animation is really growing very fast in Africa, and you wouldn't want it to take off before you join. So let's get ourselves ready.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And to my listeners, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for the questions you asked. Thank you very much. And next month we have another webinar. Every month we are going to have a webinar. I think Francis, can we have another with you again, and then we bring other. You are the only animator in Ghana I know. I don't know whether there are others.
Yeah, yeah, we can bring others for sure. In fact, on the 29th, we have an event happening that will have a lot of these animators around, different creators. It's on the 29th of August. That's next week, Friday. It starts from 5:30 to 10 p.m. We have different immersive experiences that's going to happen, and also screening. So if you visit our website, or you go to our Instagram page, you will find it the Coliko Pizzle Picnic. Please just go to Animax FYB Studios on IG. then you can register and come. When you come, you meet a lot of creators, and yeah, you never know who you meet and what would come out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a day that we are going to see more of your projects on Disney and all those big platforms very, very soon. Yeah, yeah. I really admire your work, sir, and thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for being with
You're
us.
welcome. Thanks for having me.
Okay, sir. Okay. So bye bye to everybody. See you next month.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Thank you. That was really lovely. Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.